Are we on the air?
Yes, you are.
Next big deal for '08 was the blog factor.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, you think Charles Hamilton, you think Asher Roth guy, you think a lot of
all those new dudes.
Yeah, Wale, all the new artists, they all got that jump off courtesy of Narai or Kanye or, you know, the Ill Doctrines and all those things.
Yeah.
In '08 into '09, where does the blog stand in hip-hop? As in, like, if you're an artist, you're gonna get your stuff done, you're about to make your move, your campaign, where does the blog stand in that big picture of the industry?
Yo, I think the blogs have found a nice place for themselves right now. Like, it's kind of like the first place you go for the latest. And like, when we say latest, it's like they recorded it and then emailed it to the blog and boom, it's up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, instant.
Do you think part of the problem might be that, okay, the thing about blogging is you have to always be up to date with whatever is hot and new.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily something that's hot. It's just new.
It's just new, right.
The fact that they have to continuously be relevant and up to date with something means that they just kind of blog on something that just is new. Literally.
Right. Yeah.
Has nothing to do with quality control. Just whatever's new. And that new actually becomes now cool just because of the fact that this blog spot that was considered cool is just putting it up there.
See, but I think there is some level of quality control on certain blogs.
Certain.
Yeah. Actually, I think because each blog kind of has their own flavor, and after you check them out, you kind of get a taste for who posts what, and then you kind of get a vibe of what you like, so you always go back to that blog. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think they've done a good job of kind of creating a little identity for themselves per site. So and then the thing is, like, as a user, you just have to, you just have like a smorgasbord.
Make the decision yourself.
You just choose for yourself.
Yeah. Tara?
Yeah, I love blogs. There's two I check every day. The problem that I have with blogs, especially in the music critic area, is that people seem to think if it's on a certain blog, then you're right, that people think it's hot.
Yeah.
And that frustrates me to no end, because it's like, would you really listen to this track on the radio if it wasn't on, tubedopeboys.com?
Especially when you realize that, like any other business, the business of blogging means that you have to constantly update. So if on Tuesday there's really nothing to blog about, you're gonna just take the dregs, whatever's there, and it automatically becomes this important thing, when in actuality you're just blogging on it because there's really nothing else to blog about.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you look at that,
that's where you hope that the end user kind of gets a feel, and just like I said, they get to pick what they want to click on.
Yeah.
Like, everything's there. You don't have to click on everything, right? So it comes down to the end user. That's kind of the whole internet era. That's like, the blog is like the manifestation of that whole idea, where like the end user now chooses what they want, as opposed to being fed what the TV used to give them or whatever.
Yeah. If you're an artist coming up and you're new, or even an older artist that's trying to do their thing, where does the blog sit in okay, I'm going to do this, and this when I start dropping my new single? Where does the blog sit as far as you guys are concerned in the bigger picture of the equation of campaigning yourself?
The blog is the first step, I think. Having done a lot of interviews this year with some major artists, most of them, I ask this question a lot, and most of them will hit up certain blogs immediately, like as in the first or second day that it's released, then it'll go to bigger outlets. Yeah, I see it as a good and a bad thing. I personally, I love blogs. I check up on it. And one of the things that I do want to touch on for sure is the excessiveness that people are taking blogs, like Joe Budden's blog TV, and like the ridiculousness content that's out there this year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and some of that I just wish would go away.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Definitely agree. Speaking of, as well, we're talking about the business models and what artists need to do. In totality, how has the music industry done in '08 in terms of profit making? Have we found a model that fits in terms of making money?
Definitely not.
Nah, and I think to speak to that though, not only is it no, I think the blogs is a detriment to the money making factor. Yeah. Only because when you look at it, right, blogs essentially were really good for fashion because there's so many things coming out and a lot of people couldn't cover it. So when people used to blog it, especially on the fashion tip, you can get like, if you're into like Supreme hats, you're into like the latest dunks or whatever, you can get that all at one spot, being hype beast or whatever, because they would cover everything. You take it to a music aspect, when you have a song or like a mixtape or an LP on there, that means the shelf life is only as long as the next hottest thing. That's not even on the dopeness of your product. That's really on the next hottest thing that's coming next. So realistically, from a business standpoint, how good can that be when your promotion can probably only be like a couple hours, maybe like 15 minutes if that?
Nah, see, but that's the thing. Like that first post, even though it might only last a day, could turn into weeks of that link like spreading around the internet. You know what I'm saying? So like when you think of it like that, it's,
so you basically you're saying the blog is the first step to the buzz.
Yeah, it's one of the major steps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the thing is like, and the thing now too is YouTube, the new talker, I think it's actually starting to go through, but apparently now YouTube is gonna start paying artists or the labels for like per play.
Oh, they do it with a couple artists. I know.
No, but that's becoming like the standard. So if you think of it like that, it's like when an artist posts a video on YouTube and it's all set up properly so that when you get a hit, you get your royalty or whatever, then it's like even that one day of like a blog post, you could get, 50,000, 100,000 hits in one day, and you get your royalties off that. So it could.
So basically in 2009, you call an artist, what are you doing? Oh, I'm on YouTube clicking my song
because
a million times.
Because YouTube doesn't let you do that.
Okay.
Yeah, their protection and the way they set up like their clicks and all of that is real like some hardcore technical like Fort Knox type of thing. You know what I mean? So you can't just sit there and refresh and just get more hits.
So it's kind of like so basically the profit making model is still sort of kind of like what Ivan was talking about, just a bunch of streams of little things that might come together and form something.
Hopefully add up at one point.